Well, live from John Sessions Stadium on the campus of Jacksonville University in Jacksonville, Florida, it's time for another evening of Bethune-Cookman University baseball here on the CatEye Radio Network. Tonight, the Bethune-Cookman Wildcat baseball team, 24-16 overall and 16-2 in conference play, embarks on the first of two midweek contests this week as they play the Jacksonville Dolphins, 22-16 overall and 12-6. In the Atlantic Sun Conference. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company here on this beautiful night in Jacksonville. Slightly overcast skies, just over 80 degrees as we're about 5 minutes away from first pitch here at John Sessions Stadium. Let's get you down to our pregame interview. This afternoon, I got a chance to sit down with Coach Johnny Hernandez to talk about the weekend sweep over Florida A&M, his expectations for tonight, and managing the load over a long week of baseball. I'm here with Coach Hernandez before the Wildcats take on Jacksonville here at John Sessions Stadium this Monday evening. A rare Monday evening for you guys. Quick turnaround from the last game on Saturday. Have you come down from sweeping FAMU over the weekend yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have. You know, at the end of the day, right? Like we can't worry about anybody else, right? We took care of business over the weekend. The guys understood the magnitude of the weekend, but we got to turn the page. You know, we're facing off a really good Jacksonville team here on a Monday, like you said, unusual Monday. That game was set for next week, but with finals and stuff coming up, we just decided to play it a little bit earlier on Monday, and against a very good Jacksonville team who comes off a sweep over Florida Gulf Coast as well.
With the games so close back to back. 3 games over the weekend, 1 today, and a game on Wednesday before your next conference series. Is there a sense of maybe this is going to be a rest game for some guys, or are you going all out to win it?
No, I mean, I think you go every game, right, that you line up, it's to win it, right? You never want to throw away a game or feel like you throw away a game. But, if certain guys get opportunities, the expectation is for them to stand, to pretty much step up in those opportunities when they're presenting themselves. So, today, I mean, we're like every game, we're going to attack, try and get to the bullpen early and then just try and come up with a W at the end of the day.
This venue in particular has not been kind to the Wildcats over the last couple years. What is it about Jacksonville that makes them tough to play against?
Man, not sure. Obviously been here for the last 5-6 years, and we haven't been able to get a win here in Jacksonville. But there's no excuses, right? Every year, it's a different team, it's a different ball club, and every opportunity you get, you have to take you have to take advantage of it. So we're just looking for us to play clean defense, situational hit, maybe some clutch 2-out hitting, and then our pitchers are going to have to do a really good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark here.
Like most weeknights, is this going to be more of a bullpen game? Get a bunch of guys involved on the mound?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say so, right? Like, there's a lot of guys that didn't throw over the weekend, right? Because the starting pitching was stellar against Florida A&M. So Pablo Torres will get the, start tonight. He'll go 3 innings. We're probably trying to get him to about 50, 60 pitches and then, see where the game is at and then give guys opportunities that need to work in. Again, as much as, we put the emphasis on the midweeks, the most important games for us right now down the stretch of the conference weekend games. So we have to make sure we, stay healthy and then give us an opportunity to continue to build on our success on the weekends, but also not overlooking a really good Jacksonville team and then South Florida on Wednesday.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck tonight.
You got to Hail Wildcats.
Here are your starting lineups for this evening's contest. We'll start with Jacksonville, leading off the designated hitter Jaden Bastian. Batting second, it's second base Jonas Shields. Batting third, the first baseman Josh Steinel. Batting fourth in right field, Blake Delamalure. Batting fifth in left field, Aiden Masters. Batting sixth at third base, Cade Hentz. Batting seventh and catching Nick DeLisi. Batting eighth and playing shortstop Sammy Mumau. And batting ninth, the center fielder Clayton Hodges. At the top of the first, when the Dolphins take the field, it'll be right-handed pitcher Aaron Zenas to take the hill. And for the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, it's a very familiar lineup with a couple of changes. Darrell Lee leads off and plays left field. Andre Martinez bats second and plays right. Jesus Venegas bats third and plays second. Irvin Escobar is catching and remains in the cleanup spot where he finished up over the weekend. Batting fifth, it's the third baseman Jorge Gonzalez-Febo. Batting sixth, the designated hitter Jose Fernandez. An interesting switch-up for the Wildcats today. Ray Plasencia keeps his place at first base after 2 very good games over the weekend. He bats seventh. Gita Poyeto is the shortstop batting eighth. And Daniel Figueroa replaces Sergio Rivera in center field, and he bats ninth. And Pablo Torres will be the starting pitcher for the second midweeker in a row as he makes his way back from injury. We'll get you back after this short break with first pitch and action from Jacksonville. This is Bethune-Cookman University Baseball on the CatEye Radio Network. Welcome back to John Sessions Stadium, just about set for action here in Jacksonville between the Jacksonville Dolphins and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Happy to have your company, Michael Torillo, talking you through this evening's action here on the CatEye Radio Network. Well, let's meet the starting pitcher for the Dolphins. It's the right-hander, the junior out of Hampton, New Jersey, Aaron Zenas. Zenas, a transfer from Quinnipiac. Full stats on Zenas this season. He's 1-3 with a .548 ERA, 9 appearances with 4 starts. In 21 1/3 innings pitched, he's given up 15 runs on 27 hits, 13 of those 15 earned, striking out 18 and walking 11. His opponent batting average is .310. He's allowed 3 wild pitches and 4 hit by pitches. So not the most inflated in terms of ERA we have seen against us this week or even in the midweekers this season, but someone with a .310 batting average against the Wildcats should look at that with some anticipation. Maybe they can get off to a better start than they had last year in this building when they got beat 11-0 in a 7-inning run rule. They got 1 hit as well. Their only hit was a leadoff single. That was it. They didn't get anything else the rest of the ball game. But coming off of a big win last weekend, their first midweeker of the year over UNF, and currently riding a 7-game win streak, and 10 of the last 11 games are wins for the Wildcats as well. Their only loss over that stretch is to Miami. Jacksonville comes in with a 22-16 record, 12-6 in the A-Sun. They're coming off a weekend sweep as well, right here at John Sessions Stadium against Florida Gulf Coast by scores of 8-0, 3-0, and 7-1. So both teams pitching and playing defense well over the weekend. Of course, the Wildcats secured first place in the SWAC with a 3-game sweep of Florida A&M. Those scores 8-3, 5-2, and 9-2 on Saturday. This evening, it'll be Jacksonville in the all-white with the green hats, JU in white across the front, Dolphins in green script across the front with green numbers and a gold trim. For Bethune-Cookman, it'll be maroon hats, gold jerseys, gray pants with a maroon stripe, maroon numbers with a white trim, and Bethune. It's the Bethune uniforms in script in maroon on the jerseys as well. Darrell Lee is stepping up to the plate, and we are just about set to go for a rare Monday evening matchup here on the CatEye Network. It's Bethune-Cookman and Jacksonville. Happy for your company here on this Monday night. Darrell Lee stands into the left-handed batter's box. Lee, the redshirt freshman, batting .352, faces the right-hander, Aaron Zenas. First pitch outside of the lefty, ball 1. Full numbers on Lee, batting .352, 38 runs on 43 hits, 8 doubles, 5 triples, 7 homers, and 34 batted in. Second pitch down low, ball 2, 2-0 the count. Umpires tonight, Shannon Jerrigan behind the plate, Vic Corral at first, and Randy Olhausen at third. Umpires wearing the black. Lee swings and misses at a fastball low and away, and it is 1-2. Overcast skies here in Jacksonville, just over 80 degrees at game time. I want to strike at the knees, fastball, 2-2. It was a little bit further overcast. The clouds are starting to break as we start this game. The 2-2 from Zenas to Lee. Long look in, here's the pitch right at the end of the pitch clock. And Lee fouls it away to the left-hand side. We'll do the 2-2 again. But now some blue peeking through the gray overcast skies. Another long hold for Zenas. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Cutter ran by Lee on the inside. And that's one away. Strikeout number 33 on the season for Darrell Lee. He is second on the team in that category behind Jesus Venegas. And here is Andre Martinez stepping into the batter's box now. Martinez batting a gaudy .375. Well, that's down over the weekend. Before the weekend, he was batting over .400. First pitch fastball away, ball 1. Martinez, 43 runs on 45 hits, 9 doubles, no triples, a SWAC leading 14 home runs and 45 RBI. That one a fastball strike at the knees. Martinez over the weekend, just the 1 home run, and I say just because he's had multiple home runs in weekend series for the 2 weekends previously. Watches one in the opposite batter's box to the righty. 2 balls and a strike. He was also the recipient of some intentional walks in the second and third games of the series against FAMU. Down low 3-1. And I'm honestly not surprised that teams, especially SWAC teams, haven't started walking Martinez before this past weekend because he has been so deadly with the bat in his hands. He's ahead of the count, 3-1. Here's the pitch from Zenas. Swing and a miss, fastball away. Probably would have been ball 4, but a little bit aggressive is Martinez. And he can be a little aggressive. Struck out 21 times on the season of just 16 walks. Full count. Outside ball 4, Martinez walks, and the Wildcats have their first base runner of the game. That'll bring up Jesus Venegas, the team leader in strikeouts for the Wildcats, with 47 and an on-base percentage of .396. The only player in the starting lineup of an OBP below 400. Full stats on Venegas, batting .320, 35 runs on 47 hits, a team-high 10 doubles, 1 triple, 8 homers, and 32 batted in. He's got Andre Martinez on first, 1 away here, top of the first. No score yet. Soft ground ball towards short, could be 2. Flip to second for 1, back to first, double play. And that's the end of the inning. Well, the Wildcats hit into 3 double plays on Saturday against Florida A&M. Venegas hit into 1 of them, and now he hits into another one, and that's the end of the inning. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the first. No score. Jacksonville coming to bat here on the CatEye Radio Network. Wildcats got set down in order in the top of the first thanks to a double play hit into by Jesus Venegas. So they'll turn it over to the SWAC preseason reliever of the year and all SWAC first team Pablo Torres, making his second straight spot start in a midweeker. Went 2 innings last week against UNF. Gave up 2 runs in those 2 innings. Struck out 4. Of course, he works his way back from injury. Only the 3rd appearance of the season for Torres. Came in a 1 inning and a 3rd relief appearance against Mississippi Valley State 2 weekends ago. That was his first appearance of the season. The Orlando native Pablo Torres will stand in. Jaden Bastian, the first Dolphin to be in the box. In the right-hand batter's box, that's a ball low and inside, fastball. 1-0. Bastian batting .329, 45 runs on 47 hits, 8 doubles, 5 triples, 7 homers, and 27 batted in for Bastian. Chop foul right at home plate, 1-1. This is a dangerous ball club at the plate for Jacksonville. They have 3 in the top 10 of the A-Sun for on-base percentage. One of them is Jordan Bastian at 10. His on-base percentage .456. Fastball low and away to the righty. 2 balls, 1 strike. I was talking to Coach Hernandez before the game around the pregame interview. He said Torres going to go 3 innings or 50 pitches tonight, whichever comes first. 2-1. Ground ball foul outside of third. We'll do it again. Correction, count goes 2-2. Bastian slugging a gaudy .601, courtesy of those 8 doubles, 3 triples, and 7 homers, those most on the team. Also leading off tonight is the designated hitter for Jacksonville, which is something you don't see often. Here's the 2-2. High fly down the right field line, tailing foul into the Wildcat bullpen. We'll do the 2-2 again. Torres, the Orlando, Florida native, last year led the SWAC in saves with 6 and finished 3rd in the conference at ERA with .342. 2-2 again to Bastian. Spiked it, 3-2. And even in the just 3 innings pitched I've seen from Torres so far this season, the command hasn't really been there. Of course, when you're coming off of that offseason surgery, it's tough to work your way back to game fitness. 3-2. Inside and low, ball 4. So a leadoff walk for Bastian, and the Dolphins have a runner aboard with nobody out. The batter will be Jonah Shields. Shields, the sophomore, batting .397, best on the team.
Number 4, Jonah Shields.
Shields batting .397, as I said, 29 runs on 54 hits, 7 doubles, no triples, 1 homer, and 26 RBI. I should also mention that Jaden Bastian, who is on first right now after a leadoff walk, just tied Josh Steidl, who's on deck for most walks on the Jacksonville team this year, with 27. Shields, another right-hand hitter. Here comes the first pitch. First pitch, a fastball down the middle, strike 1. Jacksonville coming off a 3-game sweep of Florida Gulf Coast over the weekend, where they only allowed 1 run the whole series. Spinning a throwback to first. Ball gets away into the bullpen area on the right-hand side. An error and a free base for Jaden Bastian. And that has been an all-too-familiar sight for the Wildcats this year. An over-reliance on the pickoff move and a first baseman in Ray Plasencia, who has not played there a ton this season. Did play there the last 2 games and gave a decent account of himself, but it's tough when that one was a little low. Torres comes home with the 0-1 and misses it low and away, 1-1. So that error takes the double play away with Bastian on second, nobody out here. Bottom 1, still scoreless. Here's the 1-1 to Shields. Squares to bunt, takes it low and outside, a fastball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Preseason, Pablo Torres, all-SWAC first team at reliever. Preseason all-SWAC by Perfect Game and one of the top 30 relievers in all of college baseball, according to Perfect Game. Squaring to bunt, pulling it back, taking a strike outside is Shields, and it's 2-2. Last year, Torres struck out 29 and only walked 12, with an opponent batting average of 159. Breaking ball in the dirt, caught on and missed. Dropped by the catcher Escobar, but he'll throw down to first to complete the first strikeout of the game for Torres, and there's one away.
First baseman number 21, Josh Steidl.
Torres mostly works the fastball and the change, but he's got that 12-6 curve that he mixes in sometimes. It's so hard to hit when the opponent isn't expecting it. He'll face his first left-handed opponent of the day. Here's Josh Steidl. The top 3 in this Dolphins order, really great offensive numbers. Steidl, the senior, batting .307. 1 out. Bastion on first pitch to the lefty. Ground ball chopper back up the middle. Fielded behind second base, bagged by Polledo. His throw to first is in time. Bastion moves to third, so 1 pitch and an out for Steidel.
Now batting right fielder number 23, Blake DeLomeler.
So now a runner on third with 2 down. Here's Blake DeLomeler. Blake DeLomeler was the deciding factor in the first game between these two teams this season back in Daytona Beach. Hit a 3-run homer to give Jacksonville the lead in the top of the 9th, a lead they would not relinquish. First pitch, swing and a miss at the breaking ball down and away to the right-hand hitter, DeLomeler, a senior batting .264. 26 runs on 38 hits, 9 doubles, 5 homers, 38 batted in. Breaking ball, caught on and missed again, that time inside corner. So Torres has gone curveball away, curveball in, and got 2 swings and misses, and DeLomeler's down 0-2. Wildcats trying to get out of the inning with Bastion on third and 2 down. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 3 straight curveballs got him swinging all 3 times. Torres K's 2 and works around the early walk. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. We go to the second inning of play. No score here between the Jacksonville Dolphins and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Radio Network. To the second inning we go here in Jacksonville. Scoreless between the Dolphins and Bethune-Cookman. Wildcats were set down 1-2-3 in the first. And here's the cleanup hitter, Irvin Escobar, batting cleanup for the second straight game, the catcher. First pitch to him, chop foul, right behind home plate. Defensive alignment for Jacksonville. Zenas the pitcher, DeLisi the catcher. Hence, Mumau, Shields, and Steidel left to right across the infield. Masters, Hodges, and DeLomeler left to right across the outfield. Escobar, the senior, batting .313, 22 runs on 26 hits, 7 doubles, 2 triples, a homer, and 14 batted in. Taps one right back to the screen, and he's down 0-2. I remember questioning the decision to put Irvin Escobar in the cleanup spot before the final game of the series against Florida A&M, and all he did was go 3 for 4 with a walk and a run scored and 2 RBI. Outside ball 1 to Escobar. He's really grown his hair out this season, Irvin. Sticking out the bottom of that maroon helmet. Zenas comes home with it. Way outside. The ball skips to the backstop past DeLisi, the catcher. And it's 2-2. We are getting to the part of the season where Irvin Escobar seemingly always ramps up, consistently tops baseball's hardest to strike out list in Division I. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball softly hit towards second. Shields on to first, 1 away. Well, he doesn't strike out that time, but it is the first out of the inning, 1 away for the Wildcats. Both balls have been put in play have gone slow rollers to second. That one by Escobar and the double play by Venegas to end the first after an Andre Martinez walk. Here's Jorge Gonzalez Fabo, the sophomore, batting .311, 18 runs on 23 hits, 5 doubles, 11 batted in. Still looking for his first home run of the season, Fabo, after dazzling us his freshman year with a couple of home runs and a big performance in the SWAC tournament. Up and in the second pitch, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Fabo forced to step back out of the box. Fabo missed the first part of the season with an injury, only really came back full-time to the starting lineup to begin conference play. 2-0. Fastball, strike at the letters, and it's 2-1. That's why his numbers are not as big as guys that have played the whole season for the Maroon and Gold. Watches one low and away, another fastball for Aaron Zenas, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Zenas coming in a 5.48 ERA, the New Hampshire native. And he's behind 3-1. Here's the pitch. That one caught the outside corner, strike 2. And the count goes full. The only time he got to a full count in the first inning, Zenas, was against Andre Martinez, and he lost him. Now Fabo's looking at a 3-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss behind on the fastball. Second strikeout of the day for Zenas, 2 away in the inning. And now the batter is Jose Fernandez. A real prove-it night for Fernandez, who usually just deputizes at the catcher spot, being trusted with designated hitter today. No Armani Newton in the lineup. No Jamie Villafañe as well. Fastball, strike outside corner to the righty Fernandez. The redshirt sophomore from Venezuela. Transfer from Monroe College. And the 0-1 way outside. Got away from Zenas. That one skips to the backstop, 1-1. On the year for Fernandez, he's batting .333. This is only his 8th start of the season and just his 39th at-bat. 1-1. Ground ball towards third, under the glove of Hentz, and that's the first hit of the game for the Wildcats. Making a big turn at first is staying there is Jose Fernandez, so the Cats have 2-out life here. That was a hot shot towards third. Hentz couldn't come up with it, and Fernandez is aboard.
Now batting first baseman number 11, Ray Plasencia.
That'll be Ray Plasencia, starting his 3rd straight game at first base for the Wildcats after finishing the series against Florida A&M over there. The last 2 games. Plasencia, the junior, batting .315. 1 on, 2 out. Spin and a throw back to first. Fernandez is back there. Plasencia, 19 runs on 17 hits, 4 doubles, a triple, no homers, and 5 batted in. This is just his 17th start of the year, Plasencia. Fastball right down Broadway for strike 1 from Zenas. But an OPS for Plasencia of .471 after getting hit by 8 pitches and taking 8 walks in 54 at-bats. The one thing you don't really want for Plasencia is the 20 strikeouts. He's behind 0-1. Zenas deals. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Haven't really seen that. Looks like somewhere in between a slider and a changeup, slurve, if you will. Plasencia out ahead of it. He's down 0-2. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Fernandez on first after a 2-out single to left field. Zenas deals. Plasencia fouls off another changeup. Off to the right-hand side. Beautiful night here in Jacksonville at John Sessions. Was pretty overcast, but those clouds are breaking as the sun begins to set behind us here at the stadium. Reynaldo Plasencia looks at the 0-2. Outside, missed on the fastball to Zenas. And it's 1-2. Plasencia on Saturday 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but reached on a fielder's choice and hit by pitch and a walk in his 3 other plate appearances before being replaced late in that game. Then he reached on 2 errors, a double, and scored in the Friday night game for the Wildcats. Not too shabby at the plate either. He's behind 1-2. Here's the pitch from Zenas. Over-rotated on the fastball downstairs, 2-2. Placencia, the Hialeah native, transfer from Western Oklahoma State, the 2-2. Brisk swing and a miss on the breaking ball, and that's the end of the inning. 3 strikeouts in the game so far for Zenas. He's introduced that breaking ball, and it's pretty effective as he gets Fabo and Placencia to strike out. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second. No score here between the Dolphins and the Wildcats. This is Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Radio Network. To the bottom of the second we go here in Jacksonville. No score between the Wildcats and the Dolphins. 1 hit for the Wildcats. The 1 base runner for the Dolphins in the first was a walk and an error. That left Jaden Bastian stranded on third. Aiden Masters, the left fielder, leads off. The righty against Pablo Torres in for his second inning of work. First pitch, righty to righty. Fastball at the knee, strike 1. Aiden Masters, a senior, batting .238, 15 runs on 20 hits. 3 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, and 18 batted in, and a slugging percentage of .369. Torres over-rotates on a fastball, misses it outside at low 1-1. Masters on base percentage at .385. A 1-1, Torres working quickly. Soft grounder outside of third, 1-2. Masters has taken 19 walks to just 17 strikeouts and hit by 1 pitch. So a positive walk to strikeout ratio as a hitter. But he's behind 1-2 to Torres here. Pablo deals. Breaking ball. Got him looking. Punched him out on the inside corner. 3rd strikeout for Torres. And there's 1 away in the inning.
Now batting third baseman number 5, Cade Hentz.
Here's Cade Hentz. Wants some redemption after being hard done a little bit at third base by a rocket shot that slipped under his glove in the top half of the third. Hentz. Chopper to short, charging is Poyedo. Off of 1 foot, makes the play. A nice stretch by Placencia across his body. 1 pitch for the out there, and there's 2 away.
Now batting catcher number 38, Nick DeLisi.
Didn't even get to go over Cade Hentz's numbers. I'll circle back to that next time he's up. Here's the catcher, Nick DeLisi, batting .255. He's got the fewest number of at-bats in the starting lineup, DeLisi. This is just his 14th start of the season. Righty to righty. Pitch. Fastball, low ball, 1. Just 10 runs on 12 hits, 3 doubles, and 6 batted in for DeLisi. 1-0 Torres deals. Fastball down Broadway, 1-1. Quickly 2 away here in the second. A strikeout looking by Aiden Masters and a 1-pitch ground out to Cade Hentz. Pablo Torres only at 22 pitches right now. Here's number 23. Fastball inside, ball 2. I know that Coach said he was only going to go 3 innings for 50 pitches, whichever came first. But if he's cruising and threw 3 innings at 35, 40 pitches, I wonder if they let him come back for the 4th. We'll get to that. Chopper up the middle. That's going to be fielded by Venegas. Across his body in the stretch by Plasencia. Will end the inning. Nice job by the middle infield in this inning for the Wildcats. Nothing for the Dolphins. We go to the third, no score here from John Sessions Stadium in Jacksonville. You're listening to BCU Baseball on the CatEye Radio Network. To the third we go. No score between Bethune-Cookman and Jacksonville. Jeter Poyeto leads off for the Wildcats. As 8-9-1 due up for Bethune-Cookman against Aaron Zenas. Poyeto turns on one, fouls it off third base side, and it's 0-1. Poyeto batting .271. 20 runs on 29 hits, 6 doubles, 4 triples, 3 homers, and 31 RBI. 0-1 to him, bounced to the plate, 1-1. Had one of those 3 home runs on Thursday that really broke open the game against Florida A&M back in the 6th, a 3-run bomb to left. 1-1. Swing and a miss ahead of the changeup, and it's 1-2. That made it 8-2 Bethune-Cookman, a game they would eventually go on to win 8-3. And they would sweep the Rattlers of Florida A&M over the weekend. Poyeto behind 1-2. Aaron Zenas, here's the pitch. Hit him in the helmet, but Poyeto swung at it, so it's only going to be a foul ball. Poyeto's helmet came flying off and is lying just in front of the plate. Home plate umpire Shannon Jernigan picks it up and hands it to him, and after that, Poyeto's going to have to get back in the box and face a 1-2 count from Aaron Zenas, a junior from New Hampshire. Righty to righty once again will do the 1-2. Poyeto, liner towards third, on one hop fielding his Hentz behind the bag, across the diamond. This play is made, and there's one away. That was off the inside part of the bat from Poyeto and just kind of died right in front of the third base bag.
Daniel Figueroa.
Here's Daniel Figueroa now. Figgy getting his first start in a bit. The senior batting .317. Been out of favor in center field in favor of Sergio Rivera. First pitch right at a lefty. Up and in. Called a strike, though, at the letters. And the count is 0-1. Figueroa in the air, right field. Coming in is DeLamielleure, and he can't make the play. It'll bounce in front of him. So a base knock for Figueroa and a one-out base runner for the Wildcats. Nice piece of hitting. Just stayed home on that one.
Now batting left fielder number 1, Darrell Lee.
And drilled it right in front of DeLamielleure in right field. And for the first time, the Wildcats have a less than 2-out base runner. And now it's Darrell Lee back to the top of the order for the first time for Bethune-Cookman. First pitch right at a lefty. Runner goes, ball gets behind the catcher, and it's an easy one for Figgy. So Daniel Figueroa takes second base, and we'll wait for the live stats to see if that's a steal or a wild pitch. I would give him a steal personally because he was already going. But we'll see. Either way, Figueroa on second. And it has officially been given as a stolen base. So now Lee, with a gapper here, could put the Wildcats on the board. And he puts one in the air. Right field and deep. Going back to DeLamielleure. Track, wall, adios amigos off the light pole. The Wildcats take a 2-0 lead on the 8th home run of the season for Darrell Lee. Look out, NASA. There's a new satellite in orbit. That was a moonshot. 2-0 Wildcats. Figueroa scores from second. Lee all the way in. And the Wildcats, as they so often have this season, jump on top via the long ball. And now here's the main long ball threat of the order, Andre Martinez, who walked his first time up, caught in the middle of a double play. First pitch from Zenas. Off the end of the bat, flared to shallow right down the line. Long run, and it's going to drop in foul territory near the Wildcat bullpen. The shortstop Shields ran a long way, full sprint, and crashed into that waist-high wall that separates the little picnic area from the field. So hopefully Shields is okay, and Martinez gets a second lease on life after that soft pop-up. So now he stands back in at an 0-1 count against Zenas. Here's the pitch. Martinez, high pop, foul territory, first base side, over the Wildcat dugout. And it'll find the back row of seats here at John Sessions Stadium down the first base line. So 2 fouls for Martinez, and now he's got to protect behind 0-2. Here's the pitch from Zenas. Grounder right back up the middle. Fielded behind the base by the shortstop, Mumau. And he makes a nice spin and throw to first to get Martinez by a half a step, and there's 2 away in the inning. That one looked almost destined for center field. Picked off the shoe tops by Mumau. His momentum caused him to spin behind the second base bag, and he threw on the money to Steidl at first. That's a nice defensive play. And now here's Jesus Venegas, who grounded into a 4-6-3 double play to end the first, his first time up. First pitch, off speed, low and outside to the righty Venegas, and it's ball 1. Wildcats lead 2-0 on a 2-run homer for Darrell Lee in this inning, scoring himself and Daniel Figueroa. Second pitch also low and away to Venegas. Working quickly is Zenas, but he misses outside again, and it's 3-0. Venegas from Weston, Florida, and Cypress Bay High School. As he watches a strike at the knees, he thought that was ball 4. He threw his bat away, started to first. Now he's got to go halfway to his dugout to retrieve the bat. Got to be careful. You don't want to show up the home plate umpire, though I'm sure that was not intentional. Venegas, the transfer from Tallahassee Community College, watches the 3-1, soft dribbler towards third. Charging is Hentz. He throws across the diamond, and that's the end of the inning. So some nice defense by the Jacksonville infield, but there wasn't much they could do about a towering fly ball home run by Darrell Lee to right field. 2-0 Wildcats on 2 hits, and we go to the bottom of the third. 2-0 Wildcats here on the CatEye Network. To the bottom of the third we go. Wildcats with a 2-0 lead here in Jacksonville, courtesy of the 2-run home run by Darrell Lee, his 8th of the season. 8-9-1 due up for Jacksonville here. Sammy Mumau will lead it off, the right-hand hitter. Mumau, a freshman, batting .203. Pablo Torres still on the hill. His first pitch fastball is a strike on the inside corner. Pitch number 27 for Torres. Once again, he's working on a 50-pitch or 3-inning limit, so this will be the end for Torres, unless Coach Hernandez feels content to let him ride. Line drive right to the second baseman, Venegas, who doesn't have to move, sticks his glove up and makes the catch, one away.
Now batting center fielder number 2, Clayton Hodges.
Clayton Hodges will be the batter. 9-hole hitter, the center fielder. Hodges batting .154, the junior. 52 at-bats on the year, 6 runs on 8 hits. 1 double, 1 homer, 2 batted in. Nobody on, 1 out here, bottom 3, 2-0 Wildcats. First pitch, fastball down Broadway from Torres. And after a opening walk to Jaden Bastian to begin the bottom of the first, Torres has yet to allow another base runner. Sat everybody down in order. Breaking ball, caught the bottom of the zone, and he's ahead 0-2. Torres 1 pitch away from getting the second out here. The pitch. Lined sharply, but foul outside of third. And it's 0-2 again. That's probably the best piece of contact that anybody's made against Torres so far tonight for Jacksonville. But it went the wrong side of the third base bag, so Hodges still looking at an 0-2 count. The righty Torres deals. Fastball outside corner, didn't get the call. A ball and 2 strikes. Torres now up over 30 pitches, so not likely to continue after this inning. One-two. Tipped into the glove, strike 3. And down goes Hodges. 3rd strikeout of the night. Correction, 4th strikeout of the night.
Jaden Bastian.
For Pablo Torres. He had 4 in his last start 7 days ago. Or sorry, 6 days ago, because that last night weekend was Tuesday against North Florida in his 2 innings of work. So he's got the exact same number of strikeouts, and he's looking to make amends for the one batter that got away from him the first time through the order. Jaden Bastian, who's way ahead of that off-speed pitch. And it's 0-1. Bastian reached on a walk his first time up, got the second on an error, got the third on a ground up by Steidl, but was stranded there by the Blake DeLamler strikeout. He's behind 0-1 here. Torres deals. Fastball, low. Called a strike, though. Sparse crowd here in Jacksonville doesn't like that call, but he's behind 0-2. Jaden Bastian. Sophomore, one of the top 3 bats in this order. Bat 1, 2, 3. Bastian, Seals, and Steidl. 0-2. Torres deals. Breaking ball, chopped towards third. Stabbed by Fabo. Across the diamond in time, and 1, 2, 3. Go the Dolphins for the second inning in a row. We go to the fourth, 2-0 Bethune-Cookman here on the CatEye Radio Network. We go to the fourth here in Jacksonville, 2-0 Bethune-Cookman. Courtesy of a Darrell Lee 2-run home run in the third. Irvin Escobar leads off. Fourth inning of work for Aaron Zenas. First pitch to Escobar is chop foul right at home plate. Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Escobar grounded out to second on a slow roller his first time up. He's behind 0-1 when he watches Zenas spike it to the plate over the head of the catcher, DeLisi, and it's a ball and a strike. One. In the air, center field, moving over Hodges, and he'll make the catch. One away. Well struck by Escobar, but straight at Hodges in center. And that'll bring up Jorge Gonzalez-Fabo, who struck out his first time up. A quirk of John Sessions Stadium is that both bullpens are obscured from where I'm sitting in the press box. The JU bullpen is under a complete pavilion out there. First pitch, off speed inside corner, strike one on Fabo. And the Wildcats one, while it is open air and I can see shoulders and hats moving around, there's a big high wall up there. Fabo drops down a bunt third base side. He's going to try and beat it out. Charging his Hentz. He makes the play to first, and there's two away.
Now batting designated hitter number 44, Jose Fernandez.
I don't hate the idea for the bunt. We saw it employed by the Wildcats to great effect on Friday. On Thursday, where the Wildcats used a couple of bunt singles to put runners on in the fifth. An inning where they eventually scored 2 runs and defeating Florida A&M. Jose Fernandez bats now. He singled to left his first time up under the glove of Hentz at third. And he grounds one to third, and Hentz misplays it. It's over his glove and into left field. So back-to-back singles right at Hentz, the third baseman, and he can't come up with either of them. So Fernandez aboard with 2 away. And that'll bring up Ray Placencia, who stranded Fernandez on first back in the second with a strikeout.
Ray Placencia.
Wildcats looking to keep this inning moving after 2 quick outs. An Escobar flyout and a Fabo try to squeeze his way to first on a bunt, which was grabbed by the third baseman. Placencia behind the fastball. No balls and a strike. Not expecting any funny business at first from Fernandez. Just 2 stolen base attempts on the year. He's 1 for 2. 0-1 to Placencia. He does go. There's the throw to second. The throw is in time, and he's out. Well, I didn't think he'd go because he's not the fastest guy on the squad, but that's the end of the inning. Hold on, though. We're going to keep everybody on the field. Jacksonville ran off the field quickly, and now the umpires are converging. The second base umpire, Randy Olhausen, was adamant to keep Jacksonville on the field. So Placencia remains in the box, and they're going to go review it. Now, to me, that looked pretty cut and dry out at second. So we're going to review whether Jose Fernandez is out at second base trying to steal. The throw beat him in plenty of time. It was a nice throw by DeLisi behind the plate to Mumau out there, the shortstop. And it's just a question of whether the tag was applied in time. In real time from the press box, about 30 yards behind home plate. It looked like Fernandez was out in plenty of time, but we'll wait for the review anyway. You love Bethune-Cookman University sports? Of course you do. Then don't miss Hail Wildcats Radio, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of all 15 Wildcat sports programs. Hosted by voice of the Wildcats Michael Torello and featuring the expertise of sports information directors Bryce Reinowski and Brian Harvey, Hail Wildcats Radio delivers unparalleled coverage of your favorite teams. Tune in to 1380 WELE Daytona Beach every Saturday to catch the show live or listen anytime on your favorite podcast platform. Go listen to the new episode out now that just released on Saturday. We talk about track and field, softball, and baseball. Here come the umpires out of the dugout to confirm that Jose Fernandez is out at second. I mean, I'm not sure why we needed the review that time. Anyway, inning over. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. Still 2-0 Wildcats here on the CatEye Radio Network.
Number 4, Jonah Shields.
To the bottom of the fourth we go. 2-0 Bethune-Cookman over Jacksonville. And, well, despite what Coach Hernandez told me in the pregame show, Pablo Torres is out to start the fourth after getting through the first 3 innings on 36 pitches and only allowing 1 base runner. So we'll see if he throws about 15 more pitches. Robert Lastra is warming up in the Wildcat pen. First pitch fastball inside corner. A strike to Jonah Shields, who struck out his first time up. So Coach Hernandez and his staff content to keep the reigning SWAC reliever of the year on the mound for another inning at least, as that one is chopped off the foot of Jonas Shields. He was down for a second. He's now up and trying to walk it off, so the count is 0-2 on Shields. That was a tough one off the foot of Shields. He went down in a heap. And after parading around behind the plate, he stands back in. Here's the 0-2 from Torres. Ground ball towards short. Fielded deep in the hole by Poyeto. Long throw across. In time, one away. And that's how he's gotten all those outs in just 39 pitches. Very efficient, soft contact, and strikeouts.
First baseman number 21, Josh Steidel.
4 strikeouts. And only one ball that had to be caught on the line. Everything else a ground out. Here's Josh Steidel, who grounded out to short his first time up. Steidel, the 307 hitter, one of the 3 hitters on this Dolphins team that is far and away above everybody else in terms of offensive statistics. That's a first pitch fastball strike at the knees. That's Bastian, Shields, and Steidel. They're the top 3. The only senior among those 3 is Steidel. And he's also the only lefty among those 3. That one's bounced to the plate, a ball, and a strike. Steidel top 20 in the ASUN in batting average. As he looks at the 1-1. Way upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike. Long hold from Torres. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball. Didn't get the call. Outside corner. 3 balls and a strike now. Steidel also top 20 in the conference in slugging percentage, but he watches ball 4 outside, so the only 2 base runners that Pablo Torres has allowed are the 2 walks, one to Bastian in the first, and now this one to Steidel with 1 out in the first. Here's Blake Delamater, struck out swinging his first time up to strand Bastian on third in the bottom of the first. Delamater was the damage man the first time these 2 teams met back in Daytona Beach on March 11th. First pitch to him outside and low, over-rotated did Torres. You can maybe tell he's getting to the end of his rope as the underside of the overcast clouds here begins to turn pink with the setting sun. And the floodlights on here at John Sessions Stadium. 1-0 from Torres. Pop foul behind the plate, 1-1. In that game, the Wildcats led it 3-2 before the 9th, and then a 3-run home run by Delamater sealed the Wildcats' fate as they would eventually fall 6-3. 1-1. Line drive, base hit to right field off the end of the bat. Well, there's the first hit allowed by Pablo Torres this evening. It moves Steidel to second, Delamater to first, 2 on and 1 out. Actually, Steidel continued all the way on to third. So runners on the corners now with 1 out, and Jacksonville threatening this 2-0 Bethune-Cookman lead. That was the first hit of the ballgame for the Dolphins.
10, Aiden Masters.
Here's Aiden Masters, who led off the second with a strikeout looking. Robert Lastra continues to get warm in the Wildcats' pen down the right field line. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last batter for Pablo Torres either way. Runner goes to second. The Wildcats will let him have it, so an easy stolen base by Delamater takes away the double play ball. And now second and third with 1 out. The pitch was low to Masters in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. And you could tell there was a steep drop-off in command from Torres when he came out for the 4th inning. Got the ground ball by Shields, but then the walk and the single by Delamater, and then it didn't miss. He's missed badly twice as that one's in the dirt again to Aiden Masters. Steidl on third, DeLameleur on second here in the fourth. Wildcats clinging to a 2-0 lead courtesy of a Darrell Lee home run. Back in the third. 2-0 from Torres. Chopper foul down the first baseline. That was close, but it did stay foul. Ray Placencia charged in and grabbed it just to make sure it didn't roll back fair. So 2-1. Wildcats may be looking for something soft on the infield here so they can look back the runners and make the play at first. Middle infielders back with their heels on the outfield grass. Corner infielders in on the infield grass. Off the end of the bat, above Torres' glove. That'll get the run in. It's a grounder to the second baseman, Venegas. He makes the play to retire Masters, but Steidl scores from third. DeLameleur goes to third, and it's 2-1 Bethune-Cookman.
Now batting third baseman number 5, Cade Hentz.
So an RBI for Aiden Masters. His 19th of the year, and here's Cade Hentz. So I didn't get to his numbers his first time up because he was first pitch swinging and grounded a ball out to short where he was caught out. 2 away in the inning, runner on third. Wildcats now with a 1-run lead. Ball in the dirt. Good job by Escobar behind the plate to corral it. Full numbers on Cade Hentz, the sophomore, batting .267, 18 runs on 27 hits. 6 doubles and 11 batted in. Looking to make it 12 with DeLameleur on third and 2 down here, bottom 4. 1 already in the frame for the Dolphins. That one low and away. The frame job by Escobar couldn't sell it. 2 balls, no strikes. I mentioned the command. The key difference between this inning and the last 3 is that Torres has been wild with his first couple of pitches to batters and been pitching from behind. That one off the end of the bat towards Placencia at first. He'll cover the bag himself, and that ends the inning. 1 run on a hit and 1 left for Jacksonville, and the Wildcats still lead 2-1 as we go to the 5th here on the CatEye Radio Network. Back at John Sessions Stadium in Jacksonville, 2-1. Bethune-Cookman lead the Jacksonville Dolphins as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Wildcats with 2 in the 3rd, courtesy of a 2-run home run by Darrell Lee. Jacksonville responded in the bottom of the 4th with a walk, a single, and a sacrifice. Bottom 3 in the order for the Wildcats, Placencia, Poyeto, Figueroa, as Aaron Zenas continues to be on the mound for the Dolphins. The righty deals way outside to Placencia, who was in the batter's box when Jose Fernandez was caught stealing to end the top of the 4th, which is why he starts the inning at the plate. He's ahead in the count 1-0. And now 2-0 as that fastball misses low and away. We know that Robert Lostra is warming for Bethune-Cookman, likely to come in the bottom of the 5th. Fouled straight back to the screen on the 2-0, and now it's 2-1 on Placencia. Aaron Zenas at 61 pitches. His most on the season is 70, his last outing against Georgia Southern 6 days ago. Off the end of the bat, foul over the stands to the right-hand side by Placencia, count 2-2. In that game 6 days ago at Georgia Southern, he took the loss. The game was close, 4-3. The Eagles beat the Dolphins 2-2 to Placencia. Up and in 3-2. Went 4 full innings on 70 pitches, did Zenas that day. Gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, just 1 earned. But still ended up saddled with the loss. Placencia tips it into the glove, strike 3. 2 strikeouts on the day for Ray Placencia. That's the 4th strikeout of the game for Zenas.
Now batting shortstop number 2, Jeter Poyeto.
That ties his most for strikeouts in a game, both with the 4 he got in an inning and a third at Florida State on the 1st of this month, and the 4 he got against Florida State here in Jacksonville on the 26th of February. First pitch, spiked to the plate, ball 1 to Jeter Poyeto, who grounded out to third his first time up. So as we see the pitch count tick up towards 70 for Aaron Zenas, I would expect this is his last inning of work. Fastball strike at the belt, 1-1. This game expected to be competitive. Both of these teams coming in with very similar records. 1-1. Off the end of the bat, foul first base side. A ball and 2 strikes now on Poyeto. The Wildcats 24-16 and 16-2 in the SWAC after a sweep of Florida A&M over the weekend. And Jacksonville 22-16 and 12-6 in the A-Sun. They swept Florida Gulf Coast this past weekend. 1-2. Off-speed pitch. Poyeto sits back on it and fouls it straight back. And the count holds the ball and 2 strikes. That one up by the shoulders, but Poyeto hacked at it, made contact, so he'll see another pitch. Poyeto also, in his last at-bat, took a pitch off the helmet that spun his helmet off, but he swung on it, so he had to stay in the box. That one, an over-rotated fastball by Zenas, low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wildcats with the slimmest of margins, a 2-1 advantage. They've out-hit Jacksonville 4-1 so far today. Check swing, ball goes outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count on Poyeto. And after this inning, I bet we venture into the land of the bullpens, and then this game could go any which way. Poyeto, chopper towards third. That is a foul ball just over the bag. Coach Hernandez out there, the third base coach, puts his hands on his knees and goes, come on. Because that would probably have been a base hit for Poyeto, because Hentz had to retreat all the way into foul territory behind the third base coach's box to retrieve that ball. Anyway, Poyeto has to get back in the box and see another 3-2. This is a long at-bat. Here's the pitch. And it's swung on and shot foul behind the plate. Just catching a piece of it was Poyeto. He'll stay alive again. Poyeto takes his time, checks his bat, now stands back in. Aaron Zenas from the right-hand side of the rubber deals the 3-2. In the air, shallow right. Coming on is Delameler, the right fielder, near the foul line to make the catch. And there's 2 away in the inning, and here's Daniel Figueroa. Figueroa, his first time up, singled to shallow right field on a line, then came around to score on the Darrell Lee home run.
Daniel Figueroa.
Back in the 3rd inning, as the Wildcats complete their 2nd time through the order here in the bottom of the 5th. 2 away, Wildcats lead 2-1 here in this bottom of the 5th. Low and inside, the first pitch to Figgy. Busy week for Wildcat baseball. 1-0. Figueroa punches it towards the third base side. Coming in and making a basket catch is Hentz, even with the mound. The Wildcats go 1-2-3, and Zenas is probably done. Wildcats lead 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Likely a new pitcher on the hill. We'll meet him after this. This is Bethune-Cookman University Baseball on the CatEye Radio Network. To the bottom of the fifth we go here in Jacksonville, and the Wildcats will welcome a new pitcher to the mound. It is the junior transfer from Miami-Dade College and originally from Miami, Robert Lastra, sporting a 7.65 ERA. First time we're seeing Lastra on the mound in competitive action in quite some time. First pitch, a breaking ball to Nick DeLisi, falls low, and it's ball one. Lastra last pitched on the 12th of this month against Alabama A&M, picked up a save in that one. First fastball down the middle, strike one. DeLisi grounded out to second, his first time up against Pablo Torres. 20 innings pitched on the year for Lastra from the stretch. Fastball caught the bottom of the zone, 1-2. He's allowed 19 runs on 24 hits, 17 earned, striking out 15 and walking 10, 1-2. High fly, right field, and shallow. Going out, the shortstop Venegas makes the catch. And that is one away. Now here's Sammy Mumau, who lined out straight to Venegas. Put hard contact on the ball, but Venegas didn't even have to move to make the catch. That was the first out of inning number 3. Continuing the numbers on Lastra. 15 strikeouts, 10 walks for Lastra. He's allowed 4 doubles. First pitch, a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. 2 triples, 3 homers, 5 wild pitches, 3 hit-by pitches. No record, but credited with 2 saves as Mumau taps one back to the screen, and it's 0-2. Those saves, the 9-3 save he picked up against Alabama A&M in his last appearance back on the 12th of April. And then on March 1st, he picked up a save in a 10-8 win over Maryland Eastern Shore. Swing and a miss. Rang the high fastball right by Sammy Mumau. And there's 2 away on the 16th strikeout of the season for Robert Lastra.
Clayton Hodges.
Now 2 away in the inning. Here's Clayton Hodges. Struck out his first time up back in the 3rd. Hodges, the lowest batting average of anybody in the Jacksonville starting order. Just 154. First pitch. Fastball missed outside, ball 1. 6 runs on 8 hits. A double and a homer for Clayton Hodges. Hodges, the redshirt junior, out of right here in Jacksonville. That one down low. 2 balls, no strikes. Lastra to Hodges. And a Jacksonville Episcopal School graduate, Clayton. Hodges, ground ball to short. Poyeto fields, 2 steps in, fires across the diamond, and the scoop by Plasencia is in time. The throw was a little bit low by Poyeto, but his first baseman bails him out. Nothing doing for Jacksonville in the 5th. We go to the 6th. The Wildcats still hold on to a 2-1 lead here on the CatEye Radio Network. Moving along to the 6th we go here at John Sessions Stadium. Michael Torello, happy to have your company here on the CatEye Radio Network tonight. 2-1 Bethune-Cookman, and they'll look at the new pitcher for Jacksonville. It's the sophomore from right here in Jacksonville, Garrett Corbett, making his 13th appearance of the year. Pitched an inning against BCU back on the 3rd of March. Gave up 2 runs on 2 hits. Struck out 1 and walked 1. It'll be the top of the order for the Wildcats. Darrell Lee stands in. He's responsible for both Wildcat runs tonight, a 2-run home run to right field. Back in the 3rd, he watches a fastball low, ball 1. Full numbers on Corbett. In 19 2/3 innings pitched, he's given up 20 runs on 21 hits, 17 earned, striking out 26 and walking 16. Lee watches a 12-6 curve in the dirt, 2 balls, no strike. That 12-6 curve was the majority of what Corbett threw in warm-up pitches before this inning. He's allowed 3 doubles, 1 triple, 3 homers, 2 wild pitches, 5 hit-by pitches, and his ERA is 7.78. He's behind 2-0. That one a fastball strike outside corner to Darrell Lee, 2 balls and 1 strike. Lee trying to start the Wildcat inning off right here. As he puts one in the air, high down the right field line, arcing Delamalur into foul territory, and the wind will push it into the BCU bullpen. So Darrell Lee gets a fresh lease on life. The count is 2-2. Last time out for Corbett was over the weekend, last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before against West Georgia. Just went 2/3 of an inning, gave up a run on no hits, walked 2, struck out 1 in a 4-6 loss to the Wolves of West Georgia. Brand new to the A-Sun this year, West Georgia. 2-2 Corbett to Lee. Lee strikes out, fastball in the dirt, and there's one away. The Wildcats still do not have a leadoff base runner in the entire ball game. In fact, the only leadoff base runner for either team in the game was in the bottom of the first when Jaden Bastian walked. That's it. Nobody else had a leadoff base runner tonight. Now here's Andre Martinez. Walked in the first, was caught in the middle of a double play, and then grounded out to short in the third. Hasn't put good bat on ball yet in this game. Maybe a new pitcher, fresh change of pace will do Martinez good, but he's way late on a fastball low, and it's 0-1. Martinez fallen off a little bit after the ridiculous week he had 2 weeks ago, where he hit 6 home runs in 4 games. Now a fastball up and in brushes Martinez back. Over the weekend against Florida A&M, 5 hits, just 1 extra base hit. It was a double, and 4 RBI. Tipped back into the glove for strike 2 on a high fastball. A ball and 2 strikes the count. He came through big against North Florida a week ago on Tuesday with 4 RBI. With a home run. 2 home runs, excuse me. But he watches strike 3 right down Broadway. A little bit of a slump the last couple of games for Andre Martinez. 2 strikeouts the first 2 batters faced for Garrett Corbett.
Now batting second baseman number 12, Jesus Venegas.
And now it's Jesus Venegas, who's 0 for 2, grounded into a double play to end the first and grounded out to third to end the third. First 2 in the inning against Garrett Corbett have struck out. Lee swinging, Martinez looking. First pitch to Venegas. Breaking ball misses outside. Ball 1. Garrett Corbett, the native of right here in Jacksonville, attended Bishop Kenny High School. And the righty deals outside with the fastball, 2-0. Last year as a freshman, made 10 appearances out of the bullpen, 9 2/3 hitting, 7 strikeouts with an opponent batting average of .316. He's behind 2-0 to Venegas. Here's the pitch. Venegas watches one in on the hands, but called a strike by home plate umpire Shannon Jernigan. And it's 2-1. Was the 2023 FHSAA state runner-up at Bishop Kenny. He won 4 district titles for the Crusaders. 2-time pitcher of the year for them. Swing and a miss at a fastball outside, and it's 2-2. Corbett looking for a 1-2-3 inning on 3 straight strikeouts. Here's the 2-2. Check swing upstairs. No swing by Venegas. Garrett Corbett's grandfather also attended JU, played basketball. In the air, right field. That's a line drive base hit headed towards the gap. Cutting it off is Hodges, the center fielder. He'll throw in to keep Venegas to a single, but the Wildcats have 2-out life here in the 6th, and the batter will be Irvin Escobar. So the Wildcats do not go 1-2-3 in this 6th inning. Good job by Venegas to stay back on that breaking ball, make contact, put it in the gap in right center. Irvin Escobar, 0 for 2, flying out to center on a hard hit ball and grounded out softly to second in his 2 plate appearances. He's got Venegas on first and 2 outs, and he watches a 12-6 curve into the zone for strike 1. That curveball from Garrett Corbett's got a really good bite on it. Drops off a cliff right at the plate. 0-1 to Escobar. Spiked a fastball, 1-1. Coming up next for Jacksonville, they'll stay home as this is the middle of a 7-game homestand for the Dolphins and play a conference series against the Wolves of West Georgia. 1-1. Swing and a miss, a lazy sword swing for Irvin Escobar. Again, another curveball from Corbett. And the Wildcats are a strike away from going down here in the 6th. 2-1 BCU, both runs on the Darrell Lee 2-run home run in the 3rd. 1-2, Venegas on first. Slow grounder towards short, charging is Mumau. He'll go to second for the force, and that's the end of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Bethune-Cookman here on the CatEye Radio Network.
Wildcats.
To the bottom of the 6th we go here in Jacksonville. Wildcats still with a 2-1 advantage over the Dolphins. Robert Lastra continues to be on the hill for his second inning of work after sitting the bottom 3 of the order down 1, 2, 3 for Jacksonville. Now he's going to have to contend with the top of the order. Jaden Bastian leads off. First pitch from Lastra skips to the plate cricket style, a ball and no strikes. Bastian walked in the first, went to second on an error, got to third on a ground ball, and ended up being stranded there. That one caught the bottom of the zone. Little cutter from Lastra, 1-1. Lastra, after he came in replace of Pablo Torres. That one's tipped into the glove on a high fastball, 1-2. Got DeLisi to pop out on the infield, Mumau to strike out, and Hodges to ground out to short. 1-2. Outside, didn't get the call, 2-2. The Wildcats are playing very much pull on Jaden Bastian. The middle is wide open. Swing and a miss. The defense isn't going to get the chance to make a play because Bastian was screwed up silly on that off speed on the outside corner from Lastra. And there's one away. Second strikeout of the game for Lastra. Here's Jonas Shields. Struck out in the first, grounded out to short in the fourth for Shields. That one, line drive, base hit to center field. First pitch, swinging on a fastball inside corner. Only the second hit of the night for Jacksonville. The first one was back in the fourth with Blake Delamiller. Here's Josh Steidl, who walked with one away in the fourth and came around to score for the only JU run so far. 1 on, 1 out here in the sixth for the Dolphins. I'll check back to first. Steidl walked in the fourth, grounded out, to short in the first. He came around to score on a Delamiller single and a Masters ground out. 2 straight checks over to first, that one low. Placencia's already lost one, which accounts for the one Wildcat error tonight back in the first. Finally, he comes home with it. Chopped back to the screen for Steidl, a ball and no strikes. Standings in the A-Sun are a little bit weird. Remember, if any of our audience has been around the last couple years, how the SWAC used to do their divisions where East and West didn't play each other until the tournament. 0-1, Lastra will throw back to first. The A-Sun has adopted that. They have a gold division, which is kind of northwest, and then a graphite division, which is southeast. Fastball away to the lefty, Josh Steidl, a ball and a strike. Jacksonville sitting second in the graphite division, which is the southeast, contains the Florida schools, West Georgia, and Queens. And a third pickoff attempt over to first. Stetson, the Bethune-Cookman Volusia County Comrades, leads the graphite division at 16-2. A fourth pickoff over to first in the AB, drawing some boos from the scattered crowd here at John Sessions Stadium on a Monday night. Jacksonville's second in the division at 12-6. North Florida, the Wildcats beat last week at 9-9. These are, of course, conference records. Fastball outside, ball 2. 2-1 the count on Steidl. West Georgia sits fourth in that division at 8-10. Florida Gulf Coast at 6-12. Queens at 3-15. 2-1. Ground ball towards second. And covering first is Lastra after Placencia tried to make the play. Venegas comes up with it. So it'll be as good as a sacked bunt to move Shields over to second.
Right fielder number 23, Blake Delamiller.
It was a ground ball towards second. Ray Placencia moved to try and get the ball. He couldn't come up with it, so Venegas ended up throwing to the covering Lastra. So the rare 4-1 put out at first by Steidl. Here's Blake Delamiller. Has only one of the 2 hits for Jacksonville tonight. He's got a runner in scoring position. The tying run, Shields at second. That one, the line drive into the glove of Poyeto at short. What a play! Jeter Poyeto sprinted to his left, threw up the glove in front of his hat, and came down with the ball to keep the Dolphins off the board. No runs, a hit, and 1 left. And as we go to the 7th, the Wildcats keep the lead. It's 2-1 right here on the CatEye Radio Network. New pitcher on the hill for the Jacksonville Dolphins as we go to the 7th here at John Sessions Stadium in Jacksonville. It's still a 2-1 Bethune-Cookman lead as the Wildcats look to continue their current 7-game winning streak. New pitcher on the hill for Jacksonville is Brooks. Grant Brooks, the junior, out of Indiana, the right-hander, faces Jorge Gonzalez-Fabo. And the first pitch is upstairs, a fastball, ball 1. Fabo tonight struck out of the second and bunted out in the fourth, trying to squeeze onto the base paths. Didn't get there. 1-0. Grant Brooks fires a strike at the belt. 1-1. Brooks has an 11.57 ERA in 14 innings pitched. He's allowed 18 runs on 24 hits, all earned. Here's the 1-1 to Fabo. Low and away, ball 2. It's 12 strikeouts to 7 walks for Brooks. He's allowed 5 doubles, no triples, 2 homers, 1 wild pitch, 4 hit by pitches, and his ERA once again 11.57. He's behind Fabo 2-1, and Fabo checks his swing. He did not go, says first base umpire Vic Carell, and he's ahead 3-1 now. Although Brooks did a lot to help his ERA in his last outing over the weekend against Florida Gulf Coast. 3-1 to Fabo. Outside ball 4. So for only the second time tonight, the Wildcats take a walk, and for the first time since the first inning. And for the first time in the ball game, the Wildcats have the leadoff man aboard.
Hitter number 44, Jose Fernandez.
Jose Fernandez bats now. Fernandez 2 for 2 with 2 singles that ate up the third baseman, Hentz. He's got Jorge Gonzalez-Fabo on first. Nobody out here. Top of the 7th, Wildcats up 2-1 over the Jacksonville Dolphins. On the ground towards second, could be 2. On to short for 1, back to first. Not in time as the speed of Fernandez beats it out. And we might have a review on that one. It was close. Remember, Fernandez has been caught stealing already in the ballgame. That was a chopper right towards Shields at second, as we're going to have our second review of the night. The first one was on that stolen base that was not to be for Fernandez because he got caught back in the 4th. That ended that inning. So Fernandez, the source of both reviews here tonight. Fabo walked to start the inning, and then Fernandez, we think, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play, but Fernandez was called safe at first. Either way, Fabo is out at third, 4-6, and there's 1 away in the inning. We will see if Ray Placencia will bat with Fernandez on and 1 away, or nobody on and 2 away after this review. And unlike the first review, I did not really get a good look in real time. It was close enough that I can't really pass a judgment call. Anyway, baseball is back at the beach. Come catch the Diamond Cats this week, on Wednesday, as we welcome South Florida to the Jack for a midweek showdown Wednesday at 4 p.m. New this season. Admission is free at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Come catch all the action less than a mile from campus, or we'll have it all for you here on the CatEye Network. And softball is back at Sunnyland Park this week. Come catch Bethune-Cookman softball Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday as we welcome Memphis and Jackson State to Daytona Beach. Wednesday at 5 p.m. and Friday and Saturday at all times. To be TBD for that one, check BCUathletics.com. Make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to BCUathletics.com and click on Shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's BCUathletics.com and click on Shop. Here come the officials after the review. We'll see if Fernandez is out at first. He is not. He's safe at first. So a fielder's choice for Fernandez. He's aboard with 1 away, and the batter will be Ray Placencia, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on X and Instagram at BCU_Athletics. For the latest on BCU baseball, follow at BCU Diamond Cats. So Placencia stands in against Brooks. This will be a righty-to-righty matchup. Fernandez on first, one away in the 7th. Fastball, low ball, 1. Grant Brooks from Milford, Indiana, started his collegiate career at Butler. His dad played football at Purdue. Spin and a throwback to first. Fernandez is there. Brooks also has a brother, Ty Brooks, who plays baseball at Indiana State. Oh, athletics runs in the family there. Brooks trying to improve on his 11.57 ERA on the year. The 1-0. Upstairs on Placencia. He checked his swing, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. He threw 2 innings against Bethune-Cookman back on the 11th of March and didn't allow anything. No runs, no hits, no errors, no strikeouts, no walks. Just 1 hit batter in 7 batters faced. A very clean inning, used his defense and used a lot of soft contact. Wildcats still holding on to a slim 2-1 lead here in Jacksonville. Placencia off the inside part of the bat, foul back to the screen. 2 balls and a strike. Infield playing double play depth. Corner infielders down the lines. So there are holes to poke the ball through. 2-1-2 Placencia, runners go, and caught in the middle is Fernandez, but that's a balk. That was a wild one. So Fernandez just took off to second. The pitcher, Brooks, who hadn't thrown the ball yet, stepped off and threw it to first, but he threw the ball low to Steidl. Steidl didn't have a play at second, but it was called a balk anyway. That was a wild one. So Fernandez on second now, which takes away the easy double play ball. 2-1 to Placencia. Watches one in on the hands upstairs, and it's 3 balls and a strike. An adventurous day on the base paths for Jose Fernandez. 3-1 to Placencia from Brooks. Ray puts one in the air, foul first base side. That'll go out of play, and the count is 3-2. Placencia trying to avoid striking out for the 3rd time tonight. His first 2 strikeouts were against the starter Aaron Zenas. Full count. The pitch. Placencia in the air to center field. Moving back is Hodges. He makes the catch on the track. Fernandez tags. He'll go to 3rd. Here comes the throw. It's late. So Placencia doesn't strike out for the 3rd time. He flies out to center. Fernandez advances, and now there's a runner on 3rd for the Wildcats and 2 outs, and the batter is Jeter Poyeto.
Jeter Poyeto.
Poyeto 0 for 2 tonight, grounded out to 3rd in the 3rd, and popped out to shallow right in the 5th. But a base hit would extend a Wildcat lead that currently sits at 2-1, with Jose Fernandez currently on 3rd base. First pitch to him from Brooks. And the sophomore deals. Fastball swing and a miss, up and in. Poyeto way behind it, and Coach Derek Cartaya, the hitting coach, will call time to talk to Jeter Poyeto, the Wake Forest transfer. We thought a lot about Jeter Poyeto coming into the season, the redshirt freshman. Hasn't really delivered the numbers that we maybe expected him to, but he kind of hasn't needed to. He's the only batter in this starting lineup for the Wildcats batting under 300 at 271. And has been in and out of the lineup, actually fell out of favor for Jamie Villafane at times in some conference series. But played all 3 games and was excellent in all 3 games against Florida A&M over the weekend when the Wildcats took a sweep. He's behind 0-1 to Grant Brooks. And Brooks deals. Ground ball up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. It gets between Mumau and Shields. Fernandez scores, and the Wildcats take a 3-1 lead. Seeing eye single for Gito Proieto. A little bit of redemption right back where it came from. And the Wildcats extend the lead.
Now batting center fielder number 20, Daniel Figueroa.
Little two-out rally for the Cats here, and here's the 9-hole hitter, Daniel Figueroa. So an RBI for Jeter Proieto, his 32nd RBI of the season. Now here's Daniel Figueroa, single to right his first time up. Popped up on the left-hand side of the infield in the 5th. Figueroa scored the first run of the game for Bethune-Cookman, came in on the 2-run home run by Darrell Lee, who homered to right just one batter later. And Lee is on deck if Figueroa is able to safely reach base here. He's got Proieto on first after his RBI single and 2 down in the 7th. Fastball outside, ball 1. Next weekend, the Wildcats have a really tough series at Arkansas Pine Bluff. And if you had said that to me before the season started, I would have thought you were crazy. Arkansas Pine Bluff, a tough series? Spinning a throwback to first, diving in is Proieto. But the Golden Lions have been on fire as of late. They've moved up to 6th in the conference standings at 9-6 and have a 3-game winning streak. One-0. Tap back into the glove, and it's 1-1 on Daniel Figueroa. The Wildcats have the toughest strength of schedule in the conference over the last month of the season. Pine Bluff, Bama State, Grambling State, Texas Southern, and they've already played Florida A&M. That's the other top 5 of the. That's the other 5 of the top 6 in the conference. Bethune-Cookman currently number 1, sitting 16-2 in the SWAC. Fastball missed upstairs, and it's 2 balls and a strike on Figueroa. 2 outs. Proieto on first. Here's the pitch. Nope, they'll throw back to first. Proieto back in there safely. That's the 3rd pickoff of the AB. The 2 home series for the Wildcats left are Alabama State at the Jack, May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and Texas Southern in Sanford, May 15th, 16th, and 17th. 2-1, Brooks to Figueroa. Figgy, ground ball towards second. Fielded by Shields, flips to second to end the inning. But a run on a hit and 1 left for the Wildcats. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. The Wildcat lead is 3-1 here on the CatEye Radio Network. Bottom 7 we go here at John Sessions Stadium. The Wildcats use a run on a hit in the top of the 7th to take a 3-1 lead over the Jacksonville Dolphins. Aiden Masters leads off. This will be the 3rd full inning of work for Robert Lastra, and he starts it off with a fastball strike outside corner. Lastra so far, no runs allowed on a hit and 2 strikeouts with no walks. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-1. Masters struck out looking in the second, grounded out to second in the fourth in his 2 plate appearances today. That one low and outside on the fastball, 2-1. Lastra got through 2 innings on just 17 pitches. Robert deals. Line drive, that is going to be a base hit over the leaping glove of Venegas at second. That's going to get to the gap. Trying to go to second and sliding in safely is Aiden Masters. He's got a leadoff double. Just over the leaping glove of Venegas, cleared it by about a foot.
Baseman number 5, Cade Henson.
And so now, Jacksonville in business, tying run at the plate in the form of Cade Hentz with nobody out here in the 7th. And out comes Coach Hernandez, and that one piece of hard contact may be enough for him to send Robert Lastra to the showers. It's still a really good appearance for Lastra. No runs allowed so far. He is responsible for Masters on second. 2 strikeouts on just 23 pitches. Cade Hentz is in the on-deck circle. 0 for 2, 2 groundouts, 1 to short, 1 to first. Come be a part of BCU Athletics and support the CatEye Network. If you or your business is interested in partnering with us here on the CatEye Network, you can reach out to the Wildcats Athletic Communications Department at BCU Sports Info at Cookman.edu. That's BCU Sports Info at Cookman.edu. We will have a new pitcher for Bethune-Cookman trotting in from the right field bullpen, as I'll try and catch a number here. It looks like it might be Giancarlo Zambrano. Yeah, it's going to be Giancarlo Zambrano, which tells you how much Coach Hernandez wants to win this game. He's bringing in his top bullpen arm here on a midweeker with another midweeker coming up in 2 days. Final line on Lastra. He goes 2 innings, gives up no runs on 2 hits, although he's still responsible for the runner on second on 23 pitches, striking out 2, no walks, and gives way to Giancarlo Zambrano.
Pitching change for the Wildcats on the mound, number 37, Giancarlo Zambrano.
Zambrano last appeared on Thursday night and shut down Florida A&M after Chanabocabello went 7 strong innings to close the game out for the series opening win against Florida A&M. And maybe because the series went Thursday, Friday, Saturday instead of Friday, Saturday, Sunday is why Coach Hernandez is comfortable throwing him. Especially with a big road series at Arkansas Pine Bluff coming up this weekend, where you probably will need Zambrano at some point. He gets a big opportunity here to try and keep the Dolphins off the board. Aiden Masters led off the 7th with a double to right center. And now Cade Hentz is up to the plate as the tying run. Full stats on Zambrano. He's got a 2.30 ERA, leading the Wildcats in that statistic. 31 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 9 runs on 20 hits, 8 earned, striking out 32 and walking 9. He's allowed 5 doubles, no triples, 2 homers, 1 wild pitch, and 5 hit by pitches. Once again, his ERA is 2.30. The junior out of Caracas, Venezuela, but played his prep ball in South Florida at Doral Academy. Zambrano's batting average against is a wild 177. He's the best arm the Wildcats have out of the pen, and he's going to try and shut down Jacksonville here in the 7th. Masters on second after a leadoff double, and Lastra's night is done. Cade Hentz 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Watches a breaking ball strike inside corner. First pitch from Zambrano. That's the 12-6 curve. One of the nastiest pitches that any Wildcat has in their arsenal. The righty, Zambrano from the stretch. Breaking ball in the air, left side. That is going to drop in for a base hit. In front of the charging lead, just a little teardropper. Masters goes to third, Hentz to first, and the go-ahead run comes to the plate in form of Nick DeLisi. Runners on the corners, nobody out. And DeLisi's going to be pinch hit for. He was 0 for 2. He'll make way for Chandler Howard.
Pinch hitter for the Dolphins. Now batting number 15, Chandler Howard.
That'll be Howard batting for DeLisi in the 7 spot. Howard batting .273, 77 at-bats. 16 runs on 21 hits, 3 doubles, no triples, 4 homers, and 14 batted in. First pitch, a breaking ball, ball outside to the lefty, Howard. Masters on third, Hentz on first. That one in the dirt, ball squirts away, and up to second goes Hentz on the pass ball. So now second and third. A chance to tie with a hit now for Chandler Howard. Howard, the junior from Lake City, Florida, and Columbia High School. Last year, 42 appearances, 28 starts, a .347 batting average with 38 RBI. Has not appeared since the West Georgia series. Not this past weekend, but the weekend after. The count is 2 balls and a strike. Zambrano deals, ground ball towards second. That's going to get a run in. Covering first base bag is Zambrano. So coming in to score is Aiden Masters, 1 away in the inning. Hentz goes to third, and it's 3-2.
Now batting shortstop number 14, Sammy Mumau.
So Howard picks up an RBI, Masters scores. So both runs for Jacksonville tonight have been on ground outs to the first base side. That's how Steidl scored in the 4th, and that's how Masters scored in the 7th. Breaking ball, first pitch, strike to Sammy Mumau, who's 0 for 2, lined out sharply to second in the 3rd and struck out in the 5th. Zambrano deals a bunt foul straight back, and it's 0-2.
It's because of the shit they decided with.
The tying run, Cade Hentz on third. Wildcats up 3-2, 1 away here in the 7th. The 0-2 from Zambrano. Swung on, ground ball up the middle, a base hit, and this game is tied. Hentz comes in to score, and I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Hernandez takes out Zambrano now just to save his arm for the weekend.
Now batting center fielder number 2, Clayton Hodges.
So Mumau, an RBI single right back where it came from, scoring Hentz. It's 3-3, and 3 of the 5 hits that Jacksonville has tonight are all in this 7th inning. Here's the 9-hole hitter, Clayton Hodges, now with Mumau on first and 1 out. Zambrano's going to stay in, pick off to first, nothing there. The only out in the inning so far, the Chandler Howard pinch hit ground ball RBI. Squaring to bunt is Hodges. The pitch is over his head. Escobar recovers to keep Mumau at first. The count is a ball and a strike, as J.C. Zambrano has not been missing a lot of bats, and that's not his usual modus operandi. Coming into the game, Zambrano. That one hard hit, left field. Lee coming on. He'll make the catch on the move. Had to race in to deny another base hit.
Now batting designated hitter number 8, Jaden Bastian.
Back to the top of the order now for Jacksonville. Jaden Bastian. Bastion walked in the first, grounded out to third in the fifth, struck out in the sixth. He's got 1 on, 1 out, 2 already in to tie the game at 3. Check over to Mumau on first.
Like, all serious. I'm so pissed. I just saw that someone from Spear
As full darkness has descended on John Sessions Stadium just past the 9 o'clock hour. First pitch, breaking ball in there for a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. In the inning, Masters doubled, Hentz singled. Howard pinch hit and scored Masters on a ground out. Then Mumau singled, scoring Hentz, and that's how we're tied. Swing and a miss, way ahead of the breaking ball is Bastion, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Zambrano trying to get out of it with minimal damage to keep the game tied. Zambrano leans in, now comes set. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Frisbee slider got Bastion for his second strikeout, but 2 runs on 3 hits come across for Jacksonville, and we're tied at 3 going to the 8th here on the CatEye Radio Network. We are tied up at 3 here at John Sessions Stadium on the campus of the University of Jacksonville. 2 runs in the 7th for JU, countered the 1 in the 7th for the Wildcats. It is 3-3. Back to the top of the order. Darrell Lee leads off for the Maroon and Gold here in the 8th. Darrell Lee responsible for the first 2 Wildcat runs this evening off a home run back in the 3rd to right field. First pitch, breaking ball, low outside. New pitcher in for Jacksonville. It's the lefty freshman Kyle Powers from Atlantic Beach and Providence High School. Another 12-6 curve misses outside to Lee, 2-0. I mentioned at the time that Lee's home run back in the 3rd was an absolute moonshot. It left the bat at 107 miles an hour with a 33-degree launch angle as he puts one in the air, left field down the line. That's not going to be very deep. Long run over towards the line for Masters, and he slides and can't get there as it lands in foul territory. So Lee gets away with just a long strike, 2-1 the count. He'll take the long walk back to the batter's box. The distance on the Lee home run back in the third, 414 feet over the right field wall. It hit the light pole about halfway up over there. Well, the Wildcats have given a much better account of themselves than they did last year in this ballpark when they were one hit in a 7-inning run rule. They've led for most of this ball game, and only just now in the last half of the 7th did JU tie it up at 3. Lee watches a slider outside, 3 balls, 1 strike from the freshman Kyle Powers. The lefty comes way over the top with his windup and has a lot of movement on that breaking pitch with his primary. 3-1. Fastball, Lee fouls it right back to the screen, and it's 3-2. 6.57 the ERA for Kyle Powers. 12 and a third innings pitch. He's given up 10 runs on 23 hits, 9 earned. Striking out 5 and walking 5. He's got Lee in a 3-2 count right now, lefty to lefty. From the belt, the pitch. Lee chops it off his ankle, foul. We'll do the 3-2 again. Powers has allowed 3 doubles, no triples, no homers. Throwing 2 wild pitches, hasn't hit anybody. Once again, his ERA 6.57. And his opponent batting average 426. But that time, Lee looks at a fastball, strike 3 outside corner. And the Wildcats strike out again. 7th strikeout for JU pitching tonight. And here's Andre Martinez, who struck out his last time up in the 6th. Other than that, he walked in the first, caught out on a double play. And then grounded out to third. Not a great night for Martinez, trying to change it right here. Watches a fastball in at the knees for strike 1. Aside from the home run in the 3rd and the scratched across run in the 7th, the Wildcats really haven't done anything in any of these innings. Most of them have just been 1, 2, 3. Off the end of the bat towards short. That's going to hop over the glove of Shields and into center field. And the first hit of the game for Andre Martinez. So a 1-out base runner for Bethune-Cookman. You can't keep Andre Martinez down for a whole game. He gets a single. And now here's Jesus Venegas. Venegas grounded into an inning-ending double play in the 1st, grounded out to 3rd in the 5th, singled in the 6th, but was run out 6-4 on an Irvin Escobar fielder's choice. He's got Martinez on first after a single. Breaking ball, big loping one, strike 1 on Venegas. This game has moved along pretty steadily, 2 hours and 10 minutes down as we play here in the top of the 8th. Martinez on first, 1 out. And a big cut and miss at a fastball low. Venegas way behind on that one. And he's down 0-2. Martinez leads off first. The lefty deals. Ground ball towards short, could be 2. On to second for 1, back to first, and the ball skips away from the first baseman Steidel. So Venegas barely avoids grounding into another double play. He's on with a fielder's choice. Martinez out 6-4. And there's 2 away in the inning, and the batter is Irvin Escobar with Venegas on first.
Now batting catcher number 22, Irvin Escobar.
Escobar tonight 0 for 2 with a fielder's choice. That fielder's choice was in the 6th, in the exact same situation he finds himself in right now. 2 out, Venegas on first. Other than that, he's grounded out to second and flied out to center field. He puts one in the air to right field, not very deep. Coming in, DeLameler makes the catch on the run. That retires the side. No runs on a hit and 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 3 between Jacksonville and Bethune-Cookman here on the CatEye Radio Network. To the 8th we go in a 3-3 ball game between the Jacksonville Dolphins and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats here on the CatEye Radio Network. First of 2 midweek games for you this week on the CatEye Network. We'll be back in action on Wednesday as the Wildcats host the South Florida Bulls at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. First pitch to Jonah Shields is a strike. J.C. Zambrano still on the hill for the Wildcats. Breaking ball misses in the opposite batter's box to the righty Shields, and it's 1-1. Shields tonight struck out of the first, grounded out to short in the fourth, and singled up the middle in the sixth before being stranded on second. Ground ball towards short, fielded by Poyeto. Skipped to first. Placencia digs it out, but he's safe. They say Placencia was off the bag. And I think we might have our third challenge of the night, as Coach Hernandez is out of the dugout and not very pleased with that call. So right now, Jonah Shields is on with an error to the shortstop, Jeter Poyeto. But we will probably have another review, the third of the night. One's gone in favor of the Wildcats, one's gone in favor of the Dolphins, both involving base running by Jose Fernandez. Fernandez tried to steal second of the fourth, was caught stealing. That was our first review. Then Fernandez almost grounded into a double play in the seventh, but ended up being safe at first after review. It ended up just being a fielder's choice. And now, the shoe's on the other foot, as the leadoff hitter for Jacksonville here in the 8th in a tie ball game at 3, Jonah Shields grounded it to short. He threw to first. Placencia picked it off the turf, but was judged to be off the base by home plate umpire Randy Olhausen, and we'll have a third video review. There is no BC without you. Show your support for Bethune-Cookman Athletics by joining the Wildcat Champions Club today. Help us build a championship culture at Bethune-Cookman. You can donate and join at bcuathletics.com/champions club today. That's bcuathletics.com/champions club. Support the Wildcats like never before. Bethune-Cookman Athletics has partnered with Influxer to bring you officially licensed, co-branded NIL merchandise featuring your favorite players, names, and numbers. Proceeds from each purchase directly supports Wildcat student athletes. Show your support for your favorite Wildcats today at bcuathletics.com/NIL merch. Bethune-Cookman University Athletics is proud to announce the Hail Maroon and Gold Collective, a groundbreaking partnership with Student Athlete NIL, a leading name, image, and likeness management platform. Through Hail Maroon and Gold, the most passionate Wildcat fans and businesses can engage with Bethune-Cookman University Athletics and its student athletes like never before and ensure our winning ways continue at Bethune-Cookman University for years to come. Learn more today at bcuathletics.com/NIL. We're currently in the top of the 8th, currently in a review for Jonah Shields. He grounded one to short. Poyeto fired to first. Placencia grabbed it. He was judged to be off the base. So here come the referee umpires, and he is safe at first. So it's going to be an error on Jeter Poyeto, second of the game for the Wildcats. The first one was a failed pickoff attempt all the way back in the bottom of the first inning.
Now batting first, baseman number 21, Josh Steidel.
So in a tie ball game at 3, and J.C. Zambrano on the hill, who came in after a leadoff double by Aiden Masters, but then immediately surrendered 2 runs. The umpires are still conversing inside the pitcher's mound, in between the pitcher's mound and home plate. They're going over to talk to Jacksonville head coach Bob Owens. They're not sure what the holdup is right now. J.C. Zambrano still tossing some warm-up pitches as Josh Steidel gets set to stand into the batter's box. Oh, and they're going to call him out at first. Out at first is the call. So after review, they went there, said he was safe. Then the umpires convened and said Jonah Shields is out. Well, I'm very confused. So there's one away in the inning now. Josh Steidel is the batter. He watches a breaking ball strike outside corner. Jonah Shields grounded to short, was judged to be safe, reviewed, called safe, line drive, foul, first base side out of play, 0-2. After review called safe, then the umpires converged in the middle of the diamond and called him out. I mean, we'll take it, but I'm not sure what the rationale was there. Zambrano didn't catch the outside corner with the changeup, and it's a ball and 2 strikes on Steidl. Steidl tonight, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored back in the 4th. Breaking ball up and out, 2-2. In the first, Steidl grounded out to short, and in the 6th, he grounded out to second. He's worked his way back into a 2-2 count now. Zambrano deals. Breaking ball drops off a cliff into the middle of the zone, and Steidl is down for strike 3. First strikeout of the night for J.C. Zambrano.
Number 23, Blake DeLavaleur.
2 away in the inning. Wildcats need this one so they can try and put themselves ahead of the top of the 9th and try and get some sweet revenge on Jacksonville. Remember, when Jacksonville came to the Jack earlier in the year, the Wildcats led going to the top of the 9th, and a 3-run home run, part of a 4-run inning, gave the Dolphins a 6-3 win. DeLavaleur hit that home run, and he corks one deep and foul. He hit that one a country mile down the left field line, but just pulled it. We almost had shades of March 11th when DeLavaleur hit one out of the Jack in the 9th inning. Zambrano, slider, misses away. Didn't miss by much. VCU dugout didn't like it. 2 balls and a strike on DeLavaleur. Pitch. DeLavaleur fouls it back to the screen, 2-2. The graduate student from nearby St. John's and Bartram Trail High School, DeLavaleur. A career Jacksonville Dolphin in his 5th season. Fouls it off, does DeLavaleur. Stays alive in a 2-2 count. Last year, Blake DeLavaleur missed most of the season with an injury, only appeared in 2 games. But as a junior in 2023, started 53 games and led the team in batting average. He watches one inside, count goes full. Tough outing for Zambrano. This will be pitch number 24 coming up here. He's already given up 2 runs, 1 of them earned. The 3-2, fastball middle, grounded to third and past the diving glove of Fabo into left. Big turn at first by DeLavaleur, but he'll stay there. And the go-ahead run on first. With 2 away, the batter will be Aiden Masters.
Number 10, Aiden Masters.
Masters started the big inning for Jacksonville in the 7th, where they tied the game at 3 with a leadoff double to right center, came around to score on a Chandler Howard sacrifice. Then Sammy Mumau singled in Cade Hentz, and that's how we're tied at 3. Masters now facing Zambrano, who checks back over to first. This is the 9th batter faced by Zambrano in this outing. Cade Hentz, the first man he faced, is on deck. Another throw back to first. Not even getting a very big lead is DeLavaleur. He is 15 out of 16 in stolen base attempts this year, 3rd on the team in that category behind Jaden Bastian and Jonah Shields. Long hold. Zambrano goes back to first again for the 3rd straight time. I think I say it every broadcast. I wish that college baseball would adopt the pickoff rules from the majors. Still nothing home for Aiden Masters. Zambrano comes home with it. High fastball, ball 1. I remember Coach Hernandez said in the pregame interview that he was going all out to win this one if he had a chance. Back to first and safely in on the 4th pickoff of the AB is DeLavaleur. And throwing your top bullpen arm in a midweek series when you got a game on Wednesday and then a weekend series on the road Friday, Saturday, Sunday is certainly an adventure. DeLavaleur takes off. Here's the throw to second. The throw is late and actually gets into center field. DeLavaleur going to go to third. Here's the throw. It is late to third as well. So DeLameler goes from first to third on a stolen base and an error. My goodness. Third error of the night for the Wildcats. And now the tying run 90 feet away with 2 outs in the 8th. The count is 2 balls, no strikes on Aiden Masters. Really got to knuckle down and get the batter now. Fastball strike at the letters. Jacksonville dugout didn't like it. They thought it was too high. 2 balls, 1 strike on Masters. A base hit gives the Dolphins the lead. It's a diving curve-ball that misses low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Masters. His eyes going wide now as he knows he's going to get something to hit. The 3-1. Breaking ball, outside ball 4. Zambrano misses with the slider, and there's runners on the corners. And he's going to have to face Cade Hentz unless Coach Hernandez goes to the bullpen.
Cade Hentz.
Runners on the corners, 2 away, tie game at 3 in the 8th. And Coach Hernandez is sticking with his guy. 36 pitches deep into a really rough outing for J.C. Zambrano. He's going to keep him out there to face Cade Hentz, who singled off him. The first batter Zambrano faced back in the 7th and eventually came around to score on the Moo Mouse single later in the inning. Fastball strike at the knees. 0-1. Runners on the corners, game in the balance. Breaking ball, base hit, left field. Coming in is DeLameler, and the Dolphins have a 4-3 lead. And now I think Coach Hernandez needs to get Zambrano out of there and save him for potential weekend appearance. Blown save attempt for J.C. Zambrano. Scoring is DeLameler, 4-3 Jacksonville here in the 8th. Masters goes to second, Hentz to first, and this is all with 2 outs. Wildcats have not been able to get out of the inning. And a second pinch hitter is going to come in for Chandler Howard. It's going to be Carson Stevens. Stevens, the right-hand hitter. The first pitch was low, ball 1, and now Irvin Escobar is going to trot out to talk with his junior pitcher who has seen this lead evaporate for the Wildcats. They led 3-1 when he came in the game. He's given up 3 runs on 4 hits and a walk in 2 innings. And the Wildcats went from looking like they were going to take 2 midweekers in a row against teams from Jacksonville, UNF last week and JU this week. Now are looking up at a 1-run deficit at least 4-3 with just 3 outs to work with in the 9th. That's if Zambrano can get away here. The 1-0 in the air, shallow right field in foul territory. Moving over the first baseman, Placencia makes the catch. And that's it, but a run on 2 hits and 2 left, and Jacksonville takes the lead 4-3 in the 8th. Is it more late inning heartbreak for the Wildcats against the Dolphins? They've got 3 outs left to recover. We'll be back for the 9th here on the CatEye Radio Network. Well, the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman led 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. JU has tied it at 3 and then took the lead in the bottom of the 8th, 4-3. The Wildcats send Jorge Gonzalez-Fabo, Jose Fernandez, and Ray Placencia to the plate to face the second leader in saves in the A-Sun, Nick Anello. First pitch, fastball upstairs and in, ball 1-2, Fabo. Fabo 0 for 2 with a walk. Struck out in the second, bunted out to third in the fourth, walked in the seventh. Wildcats down 4-3 here in the ninth. Anello misses inside with the fastball, 2-0. Nick Anello, the junior from Fort Lauderdale and a transfer from East Florida State College. You probably knows some of the Wildcats from the junior college system in the state of Florida. 2-0. Upstairs and the letters 3-0. On the year, a 2.30 ERA, 8 saves. He's 0-1, just 1 blown. That was at FGCU back on the 5th of April. He's behind Fabo 3-0. Fabo, strike on the inside corner. He thought that was ball 4 and started to walk towards first. He'll have to climb back in, ahead 3-1 in the count. 15 2/3 innings pitched for Anello, just a 2.30 ERA. 4 runs on 11 hits, 17 strikeouts to 11 walks. And there is walk number 12 as Fabo watches one in on the hands, ball 4. So the tying run aboard for Bethune-Cookman. And now it's Jose Fernandez, a big spot for Fernandez, who hasn't seen a lot of playing time outside the midweeks. Fernandez getting just his 8th start of the season tonight. But he has done well. 2 singles, a fielder's choice, and a run scored. Fabo on first. As they pick off attempt, Fabo slides back in safely. Fabo on first, nobody out. Fabo represents the tying run here at the top of the 9th. Wildcats down 4-3 facing Nick Anello, who's looking for his 9th save of the season. That would tie for the lead in the A-Sun. Bounce to first, or bounce to the plate, excuse me, off the chest protector of the catcher. But Carson Stevens in for DeLisi behind the plate, keeps it in front of him. Another defensive change for Jacksonville. Blake Edmonds is now in left, replacing Masters. One-0. Line drive left field, down the line, that's going to get it and go to the corner. Fabo rounding second. He's going to go to third. He's going to be held up. No, he's going to come to the plate. Here comes the throw. Fabo is safe, and we're tied. Jorge Gonzalez-Fabo turns on the Jets, scores all the way from first on a line drive down the left field line by Jose Fernandez. Have a night, Jose, off the bench. That's his 3rd single. And it's 4-4 in the 9th. Wow. And now Jose Fernandez, with nobody out, represents the go-ahead run. And the batter is Ray Placencia, who's 0 for 3. It'll be a pinch hitter instead of Ray Placencia. Sergio Rivera will come in.
Pinch hitter now batting number 19, Sergio Rivera.
Rivera has been the everyday center fielder for the Wildcats over the last 2 weekend series. And a week ago, Tuesday, Sergio Rivera hit a monster 3-run homer as part of a Wildcat evisceration of UNF 14-3. He's got the go-ahead run on second. He squares to bunt, pops it up third base side. It's a fair ball. It's out. It's a foul ball. It just rolled foul. It bounced fair. And I thought it hit the glove of the third baseman, Hentz, who was charging, but it ended up going foul first. Everybody on a knife edge here at John Sessions. That's just a strike on Sergio Rivera. Jose Fernandez on second after his game-tying RBI doubled to left field. Rivera squares to bunt again. Here's the pitch. Rivera puts it down. Right back to the pitcher. Fielding and throwing out Rivera is Anello. But Fernandez advances to third with one away. Sacrifice bunt for Sergio Rivera. And the batter is Jeter Poyeto, who needs to put something on the outfield to give the Wildcats the lead in the ninth,
Number 2, Jeter Poyeto.
which would be a massive reversal of fortunes to how the first game between these two teams played out. All the infielders on the infield grass for Poyeto, trying to potentially throw out Fernandez at home. He's the go-ahead run. First pitch, Poyeto way ahead of the off-speed outside corner. And it's no balls and a strike. Poyeto tonight, 1 for 3. Grounded out in the third, popped out on the fifth, single to center in the seventh. Would love a repeat of that right now. Here's the pitch. Poyeto, chopper, over the head of the shortstop, Mumau, into left field. Wildcats have the lead. Trotting home is Fernandez. 5-4 Bethune-Cookman. Jeter Poyeto just put it into the ground so hard it bounced over Mumau's head, and the infield was playing so far in he couldn't deal with it. Wildcats lead in the ninth. Now it's Daniel Figueroa. With Jeter Poyeto on first and 1 out. Figueroa watches fastball outside, a blown save for Anello, only his second of the year. The only other time that Nick Anello blew a save this year was against Florida Gulf Coast on the 5th of April. Fouled away, third base side, 1-1 on Figueroa. Daniel tonight singled in the third to right field, came around on the Darrell Lee home run. That was the first 2 runs of the ball game. Then popped up on the infield to the third base side in the 5th, reached on a fielder's choice in the 7th. Those are the 3 at-bats today for Daniel Figueroa. Getting the spot start in place of Sergio Rivera in center field today. The 1-1 from Anello. Swing and a miss late on the fastball low. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. In the inning, Fabo led off with a walk. Fernandez scored him with a double down the left field line all the way from first. Sergio Rivera pinch hit for Ray Placencia, bunted Fernandez over to third. And Jeter Poyeto singled to the shortstop, over the head of the shortstop. Got Fernandez in to make it 5-4 Bethune-Cookman. They came into the inning trailing 4-3. A ball and 2 strikes. Anello deals, swing and a miss. Waved at the fastball up and away, and there's 2 outs in the inning, and the batter is Darrell Lee. Lee would love to give the Wildcats some more insurance here. He's already hit one out. A 414-foot moonshot to left field in the 3rd inning. But he's just trying to keep the inning going now with the Wildcats up 5-4. And Jeter Poyeto on first. Righty to lefty. Anello steps off, throws to first. Poyeto back in there safely. Now, if you're Bethune-Cookman, who do you throw in the 9th? You've already gotten J.C. Zambrano out there when it would be his 3rd inning if he came on for the 9th, and the Jacksonville Bats have been seeing it well. Swing and a miss by Lee, fastball down low. Anello comes straight over the top with his arm action, so that fastball that lances down in the mid-90s, very hard to keep track of. Lee down 0-1. Anello misses outside and low with the fastball to the lefty. Lee 1-1. Nick Anello, the former East Florida State player, prepped at Cavalry Christian Academy in Fort Lauderdale. 1 on, 2 out, 2 already in to give the Wildcats a 5-4 lead. Runner goes, chopper to the first base side, taken by Steidl. He'll step on the bag himself, and the side is retired. But 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 left on. And the Wildcats take a 5-4 lead as we go to the bottom of the 9th. 3 outs away from a second straight midweek victory here on the CatEye Radio Network. The Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman scored 2 in the top of the 9th. They take a 5-4 lead over the Jacksonville Dolphins as we go to the final frame. It's Yoancel Diaz who will be tasked to close it out for the Wildcats. Diaz on the year, a 3.55 ERA. He's 2-1, 7 appearances with 1 save. He's looking for his second on the year. Sammy Mumau, who tied the game with an RBI single in the 7th, will be the first batter in. Breaking ball, strike 1. That over-the-top arm action, 12-6 curve from Yo-Yo Diaz. Yo-Yo deals. Fastball, grooving it at 90 miles an hour, strike 2 to Mumau. Mumau 1 for 3. That RBI single is only hit. Other than that, lined out to second and struck out in the ballgame. Diaz from the stretch. Swing and a miss and a bouncer to the plate. A half-hearted swing by Mumau, and there's 1 away. Continuing with Yo-Yo's numbers, in 12 2/3 innings, he's given up 5 runs on 10 hits, all earned. Striking out now 22 and walking just 2. He's allowed 1 double, 2 homers. Opponent batting average of .217 with 2 hit by pitches. Clayton Hodges, the 9-hole hitter, is number 2 in the inning. Wildcats 2 outs away from a epic win here in Jacksonville tonight. And they still got to get those 2 outs. Diaz deals. Swing and a miss. Fastball down low. Hodges couldn't find it. 0-1. We last saw Yo-Yo against Florida A&M on the 18th, this past weekend on Saturday. Diaz from the stretch. Breaking ball caught on and missed outside corner. Hodges out ahead of it, where he threw 2 1/3 innings, gave up 1 run on 1 hit, just 1 earned, striking out 6. That one down low, as Hodges didn't offer at it. Correction, this is Connor Spellman at the plate now, pinch hitting for Clayton Hodges. Fastball inside forces Spellman to jump back. 2-2. Yo-yo deals. Swing and a miss. Ball gets away from the catcher way up the third base line, and Spellman's going to be aboard. Tying run on first with one away. So a strikeout and a reach of base. The curveball was so nuts that Escobar couldn't handle it behind the plate. We're going to have a pinch runner on first.
First, number 16, Trent Kelly.
Trent Kelly's going to...
Now batting designated hitter number 8, Jaden Bastian.
So it's going to go in as a strikeout for Yo-Yo Diaz, but he doesn't get it out. Still just one away. Pinch running is Trent Kelly at first place, and we're back to the top of the order. The Wildcats are going to have to do this one the hard way. Jaden Bastian 0 for 3 with a walk and 2 strikeouts tonight. Yo-Yo deals. Strike caught the inside corner on a 12-6 curve. 0-1. Trent Kelly on first, pinch running for Connor Spellman after he reached on a drop third strike. One away in the inning. Diaz misses low with the curve. There is nobody warming in the Wildcat pen. Well, actually, I take that back. There is some soft toss going on out there. But I would not be surprised if this is Yo-Yo's game to finish, win or lose. Wildcats up 5-4, 1 out in the ninth, 1 on. Pitch. Breaking ball. Called strike 2 inside corner. Another 12-6 curve from Diaz. A ball and 2 strikes on Jaden Bastian. .329 his average on the year. Second on the team behind Jonah Shields, who awaits on deck. The 1-2 from Diaz. Fastball in the dirt, 2-2. Corralled by Escobar. Trent Kelly, the pinch runner, stays put. Kelly doesn't have a steal attempt on the year. The pinch runner at first base is just a sophomore from Winter Garden. Meanwhile, the sophomore Jaden Bastian has a 2-2 count on him and stands back in. Righty to righty, Yo-Yo from the belt. Here's the pitch. Check swing, no swing, says first base umpire Vic Corral on a breaking ball low, 3-2. We have seen Yoancel Diaz in these high leverage situations before in his career at the SWAC tournament and other high level games. Fastball, low, ball 4. Winning run at first for Jacksonville. Bastian's second walk of the night. And the batter is Jonah Shields. And here comes Coach Hernandez. Does Coach Hernandez go to the pen here? The batter will be Jonah Shields. 1 for 4. Struck out in the first. Grounded out to short in the 4th and 8th. And singled up the middle in the 6th and was stranded on second. I can't imagine the Wildcats would make a move away from Yo-Yo here with Zambrano already done for tonight after throwing 2 full innings and giving up 3 runs. Sammy Mumau led off the inning and struck out. Connor Spellman then batted. He swung and missed at strike 3, but the 3rd strike got away from Irvin Escobar at the plate, allowing Spellman to scamper down to first. He was then replaced by Trent Kelly, and now Jaden Bastian walks, so we've got Kelly on second, Bastian on first. Kelly the tying run, Bastian the potential winning run, Jonah Shields to the plate.
Now batting second baseman number 4, Jonah Shields.
These 2 teams have played 2 incredible baseball games this season that have both come out in 9th inning drama. It was the Dolphins on top in the first one. First pitch, breaking ball, strike inside corner. Will it be the Wildcats or the Dolphins on top in round number 2? The Wildcats led this game 2-0, then 2-1, then 3-1. 0-1 from Diaz. Breaking ball, check swing, foul, first base side, 0-2. Jacksonville then tied it at 3 with 2 in the 7th, took the lead 4-3 with 1 in the 8th. The Wildcats responded with 2 in the 9th to take a 5-4 lead. That's where we are now, 1 out in the 9th. Trent Kelly on second, Jaden Bastian on first, representing the tying and winning run. The count is 0-2 on Jonah Shields. Yo-Yo Diaz from the belt, the righty deals. Breaking ball, caught on and missed. Strike 3, and first base is occupied, so the drop third strike won't matter. 2 away in the inning. Technically, the third strikeout of the inning for Yo-Yo Diaz. He should be home and clear with a Wildcats win. But a drop third strike on the second strikeout means that Diaz is going to have to face Josh Steidl. Steidl 0 for 3 tonight with a walk and a run scored. Grounded out in the 1st and 6th, struck out in the 8th, walked in the 4th, and came around to score on an Aiden Masters sacrifice. That was the first run for Jacksonville. At the time, it made it 2-1 Bethune-Cookman. Righty to lefty. The ball squirts by the catcher, and the runners will move up 90 feet. Tying run on third. Trent Kelly goes to third. Jaden Bastian goes to second. It's been a rough inning for Irvin Escobar at catcher, trying to handle the tough curveball from Yoancel Diaz. The tying run at third. The winning run at second. The count is a ball and no strikes to Steidl. And they're going to put Steidl aboard, and I don't hate this. I do not hate this move. It doesn't matter. And you'd rather face, well, do you want to face Blake DeLamiler, who's been your bugaboo all season? They're going to do it. Josh Steidl goes to first on the intentional walk. Blake DeLamiler, who's 2 for 5 tonight, 2 for 4 tonight, struck out in the 1st, singled in the 4th, lined out spectacularly to short in the 6th, singled and scored in the 8th. At the time, that was the go-ahead run. First pitch to him. Breaking ball outside, ball 1 to the righty. And in the first game between these two teams, he hit the go-ahead 3-run home run for Jacksonville in the 9th to allow them to win that game back in Daytona Beach on the 11th of March. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 9th. The pitch, swing and a miss on a breaking ball that pounded the dirt. 1-1. The Wildcats should be home and clear if not for a drop third strike. But you get the most dramatic moment in baseball. Bases loaded, bottom 9, 2 outs. The count is 1-1, the pitch. DeLamiler in the air, left center field, going back to the track, to the wall, it is gone. Blake DeLamiler, for the second time this season, breaks the hearts of Bethune-Cookman with a walk-off. And the Dolphins win it 6-4, or 6-5, excuse me. Trent Kelly comes in, Jaden Bastian comes in, and that's all that matters. The Dolphins break Wildcat hearts again, and now you question trying to pitch to Blake DeLamiler, who just got a Gatorade bath behind second base. They're going to call it a double as it hit off the left center field wall.
Fans, that's the ballgame. Final score, Dolphins 6. Wildcats
in the 9th for the Dolphins. 2 runs on 1 hit. And no errors and 2 left on. I guess you call the drop third strike. It's not technically an error, but the Wildcats should have won. The drop third strike is the difference in the game. If Irvin Escobar hangs on to it, the Wildcats get out. but they put a man on, and then a walk, and then an intentional walk, and then DeLameleur makes the Wildcats pay. Once again, your final score, Jacksonville 6, Bethune-Cookman 5, a crazy game, and the Wildcats just come out on the wrong side of it. Both teams with a blown save in the ninth. The Wildcats got to Nick Anello with 2 to go ahead 5-4, and then the 2 responded on the 2 RBI double with bases loaded by Blake DeLameleur, who's the hero again in this series. DeLameleur didn't play at all last year for the Dolphins with an injury, but he has owned Bethune-Cookman. The 3-run home run back on March 11th to win it for the Dolphins, and then the double that was almost a walk-off home run with the bases loaded in the ninth to win it for the Dolphins. Man, oh man. Your final score, Jacksonville 6 runs on 8 hits. They committed no errors and left 7. For Bethune-Cookman, they score 5 runs on 9 hits. They commit 2 errors and leave 5 on base. I'm not sure he deserves it, but the winning pitcher is Nick Anello, who came in with a chance to get the save in the ninth and didn't get it. And the losing pitcher is Yo-Yo Diaz. A tough pill to swallow for the Wildcats, but they don't have long to dwell on it. They fall to 24-17. They stay 16-2 in the SWAC. Their 7-game winning streak is snapped. Jacksonville improves to 23-16 and does the double over the Wildcats this season. The losing pitcher, once again, Yo-Yo Diaz, no save. An epic one. Time of the ball game, 2 hours, 58 minutes. We'll be back on Wednesday at 4 p.m. at Jackie Robinson Ballpark as the Wildcats will try and get over another team that they barely beat, or they barely lost to, in the first game of a home-and-home this season, the South Florida Bulls. Once again, your final score from Jacksonville. The Dolphins walk off the Wildcats 6-5 in a crazy game in the ninth. Thank you for keeping me company here on the CatEye Radio Network this evening. My name is Michael Torello. We'll see you on Wednesday. Have a good night, and hail Wildcats.